fellow carbon-based life forms. Welcome to another episode of KTG in the Cosmos. So, we've talked about our solar system in very basic terms, but what is holding our solar system together? What is holding and binding the stars and galaxies together? That can be explained with one word. It's gravity. So, Carl, you ask, how do we know what gravity is? How do even scientists know? It's just a guessing game. They don't know everything. The point of science is not to try to brag and prove about how much they know, but to better understand the mechanisms and reasoning and formation behind matter, and basically why things are what they are. After all, physics is derived from the Greek word meaning nature. Slandering science is pointless, because science does not work on the basis of personal gain. Sure, they throw some competitiveness over certain scientific groups for a bit of fun and make it interesting, but overall, science works on behalf of us Homo sapiens. Discoveries, findings, and our understandings of the universe itself is on behalf of humans. What we as a species have achieved to further enquest our chances of being part of the intergalactic community. Sorry, I tend to drift off a bit. Anyway, so, where were we? Gravity, yes, gravity. As we all know, the famous Isaac Newton kindly laid out the laws of gravity for us and explained it. In my opinion, this was thanks to Galileo Galilei, as his last work featured the property of falling bodies, which he noted always accelerate and fall at the same rate no matter what the mass or density of the objects are. Now, of course, if you drop a bowling ball and a feather at the same rate, the bowling ball will hit the ground faster, but that's taking into consideration air resistance with the feather, etc. But this was the first look through the secrets of the universe peephole of how gravity affects everything. So remember, if someone calls you fat, just say, well, it wouldn't be fat on the moon, would it? Remember, don't blame the player, blame the planet. Anyway, it is important to remember that he did not explain why and what causes gravity. We would have to wait for several years later for another genius to come along and shed light on this topic. However, Newton was indeed a towering intellect. His achievements and discoveries and indeed inventions that gave the world were truly astonishing. Newton did not have a particularly good childhood, mind you. His father unfortunately passed away before he was born, and his mother remarried and left young Isaac when he was only 3. It was believed that Newton was not a great student. He attended university at Trinity College at Cambridge. He was a social recluse. He used to hide away most of his nights in his room pondering questions about light, motion, and indeed the Bible. Newton actually had a firm interest in alchemy and spent a lot of his time trying to decode the Bible, specifically the book of Revelations. He was trying to find out when the second coming will happen. As you can guess, all of this didn't lead anywhere. But like I said, don't let that fool you. Newton's work reinvented how we see things. We still use Newtonian gravity to this very day when calculating the orbits of planets. Also, look at the Newtonian telescope. Thanks, I love reflectors. They're fucking great. The typical old story goes that Newton was walking through a courtyard at night, observing an apple falling from a tree to the ground. Newton then looked up and seen the moon and asked the question, why doesn't the moon fall on us? This was what led him to explain the law of gravity. It probably wasn't the story of Newton sitting under a tree writing rom-com poetry and getting hit in the head with an apple. Newton never even got laid. Newton imagined that the apple being accelerated as it moves towards the ground, as the velocity of the apple would be at 0 as it's hanging from the tree before it falls. Thus, there must be a force that causes the acceleration of the apple to go down to the ground. You can look at our solar system as if every planet falling into each other. The moon is falling around the Earth as the planets orbit the sun. But what is gravity? Well, we know it causes any two objects with some form of mass to be attracted to one another. In essence, Newton said gravity is a force that attracts all objects to other objects. Newton had outlined the 3 motions in his book Principia, thanks to Edmund Halley, which was based on Johannes Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Just in case you're not aware, Kepler dealt with the properties of planets and how they move, improving on Nicholas Copernicus' work on planetary bodies orbiting the sun instead of the Earth being in the centre as once assumed by religious parties. Because if God created us, then why would we be number 1? Why would we be in the centre of everything? Because we matter, we're important, and we should be heard. Damn it! Sorry, just reasoning. More specifically, Kepler had outlined that the planets moved in ellipses around the Sun instead of the perfect circles. Granted, a more messy model, but it did indeed match the data that astronomers had collected for years. Sorry, I'm drifting again. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yes, gravity. Yes. Gravity is a force that attracts all objects that are objects. We've got that right. Okay, yes. What else? But how would this apply to the planets in the solar system? To the stars and clusters, to the galaxies, to the very fabric of space and time? Let's ask Einstein. Albert Einstein was born in Germany to Jewish parents. Not that that matters, but I thought I'd throw that in there to make myself look good. Einstein showed signs of possessing a great mind, but mind you, he did not immediately fly through school. Even at the age of 10, Einstein was heavily interested in space, churning through countless books on the subject and contemplating abstract questions such as the theory of being able to travel at the speed of light. That was like my hand there moving at the speed of light. But his greatest achievement and breakthroughs was in physics, including his two theories on relativity. The two theories of relativity was dubbed general relativity and special relativity. To put it into really basic terms, general relativity was Einstein saying space and time are not two individual things, but are the same thing, what he called space-time. Essentially, you can look at space and time all together in one fabric across space. This can be distorted or dented by mass. To explain how gravity works, let's take a piece of paper. I got my object, right? So our star will be this Kinder Egg. Now, let's put our star, Kinder Egg, on the space-time paper. Okay, so, as you can see, as predicted, the Kinder Egg makes the planet dent under the weight of the mass of the Kinder Egg. Imagine a star placed on the space-time fabric. The star distorts and dents space-time, like so. Okay, now let's place another smaller Kinder Egg on the space-time paper, along with the normal Kinder Egg. This will be our planet. Now the problem is, I only have one Kinder Egg, so it's a big problem. Let's go for a guitar pick. Ah, yeah. We're being creative here. So, the Kinder Egg is our star. This pick will be our planet. So, likewise again, we have the star bending for a split time. Now we're going to put the pick, like the planet orbiting the sun. So we'll put it there. Obviously the pick will not make the paper dents, but use your imagination. So as you can see, the planet also makes the paper indent. However, if you observe closely, you will see the planets within the indent of the star. This is the planet orbiting around one another. They travel in a straight line around the object of mass, or distortion, or indentation. This is what makes them circle around it. It's like a curve. The planet is there, the star is there, yes, it orbits it due to the indentation. It falls within the curvature. Think about yourself as a tiny borrower. No, I can't say that word. I can't say my R's, so borrower, whatever. This is the tiny people in the movie. They're like that size. Think of yourself as a tiny borrower and you fell into a sink. You will fall around it until you reach the centre and then slowly get stuck in the hole and drown by the incoming water and suffocate due to oxygen intake being blocked. So, we can begin to imagine in simplistic terms how planets orbit one another and how the mass difference or density of the planet affects the amount of distortion on the fabric of space-time. Basically, objects orbit around the curve of each other. So, there's another term. Here is this space-time. I poke down in it, I make a dent in it. So things orbit around it, it falls around it. Or something. Special relativity, on the other hand, deals with acceleration at the speed of light, velocities, time dilation, etc. But we won't go into that in that episode. But in layman's terms, we have covered gravity in a small and basic way. I hope you have a rough idea of what the fuck I was talking about. Stay tuned for episode 3, which we will talk about more about space, science, things. Exciting. This is KTG preparing for launch. I'll see you in orbit. You're watching KTG in the cosmos!